tọ́mọ náà bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní rìn tó bá lẹ́gbẹ́ tí wọ́n jọ ń ṣeré láàrin àdúgbò tí òbí ẹ bá lè ra kẹ̀kẹ́ fún oṣù bá sọ. tó bá ní kó pé wá ọjọ́ fi ṣeré tó bá ní ara ó ti dọ̀tá wọn ó ti bọ́ sọ́wọ́ ayé. wọ́n ní máa gbé kẹ̀kẹ́ lọ a ò bá ẹ ṣeré mọ́. tọ́jọ́ bá gorí ọjọ́ tọmọ náà bá dàgbà tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní relé ìwé ó fojú sí ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀ tó ń ṣe déédéé. tí wọ́n bá ṣe dánwò tó bá ṣe kò kíní ó ti dọ̀tá ó ní kò kẹfà wọ́n fún lórúkọ wọ́n lọ́mọ síṣà ní.
Good evening, everyone. If I continue like that, you know, the concept of this song that Obe sang is there's nothing you can do to satisfy everybody. Most important thing is satisfy yourself, make yourself accountable to God, to yourself, and to people that you believe that they believe in you and they love you. Make sure you're accountable to them. But try to please the whole world, you are going to displease yourself. Remember that story, very interesting. You know, the man and the horse and the horse and the man, and you know, they were confusing the man because he was trying to please everybody. You can't please everybody and displease yourself. Life is too short to keep making yourself a vulnerable person or a vulnerable human being to everybody around you. A lot of people will not understand you. You owe them no questioning. You owe them no querying. When we get thank you everyone. Thank you for joining me this evening. Please share with your friends. It's going to be a blast. Powerful time we're going to have. It's going to be the continuation of my program on Fresh FM this morning, talking about so many things. And a question actually came to my DM while the program was going on. I thought maybe the person listened to the program, and then she asked me a question, and I'm going to use that to start the program today. Please, ma, she's watching me now. Thank you. Please, ma, help address a situation. Please write it down if you get it so that we can flow together this evening. Please, ma, help address a situation where a man keeps bringing infections to the home, and they are praying for the fruit of the womb for many years. Please, ma, help address a situation where a man keeps bringing infections to the home, and they are praying for the fruit of the womb for many years. Well, you know, when I was discussing the other time on the radio, I said a lot of things about what to do when the man is cheating on you. One of the things you should do is very clear. The moment you confirm that this man is acting out sexually, avoid, if you can have sex with him, I'm being honest here, if you can still have sex with him, because most women in Africa, their husband is acting out, still messing around, and they will still release their body. That's okay if you can. But most of the time, a woman will not respond sexually to a man that is cheating on her, because for a woman, sex is a spirit, soul, and body. To her, sex is fellowship, sex is bond, sex is unity, sex is oneness. She cannot departmentalize. Now, let me put it this way. A woman cannot departmentalize and compartmentalize her life. The life of a woman is like a noodle. It's like a spaghetti. It's like a web. A woman will not release her body to you wholeheartedly, even if you shout at her. You want to have sex with your wife in the morning or in the night, and in the morning you shout at her, you talk her down, you insult her. She's not going to respond the way you would want her to respond. And that is the truth. She will not open up her heart, because for a woman, sex starts from the heart. A man can see his wife wake up in the morning having a bath and the man is ready for sex. That is not how a woman is wired. A woman is wired like a noodle. Now, this is just shout at, talk down at, said something that upset her. Can you now imagine if you are constantly having extramarital relationship and the woman knows you have confessed, she has caught you multiple times, responding to you sexually is not visible, it's not possible. Now, this woman was saying, now I'm going to analyze this woman now that asked me a question, and the question is still on my DM. I'm sure she's watching, because I told her I was going to address it on the program. Now, what happened is very clear. Because in Africa, our culture allows abuse. A woman wants to stay there because of several reasons: culture, tradition, religion, people, relationship, association, intimidation, complex, low self-esteem. You don't want anybody to see you. You don't want the stigma. You know, stigmatization is there when you are separated and all of that. So you want to covert and keep those things, and you are dying. That is one. Two, for this woman, she's looking for a child. And what she's telling herself, consciously or unconsciously, is, let me have my child. At least if I have one, let me have my children or my child. Even if I have one, I can manage. I can always live my life after the one. That was why she would condescend so low, bring herself down, subjugate herself to constant sexually transmitted infections, and still stay in the relationship. So she's not in that marriage receiving infection, receiving all sorts because of love. She's there. I've said the first set, I'm not repeating myself. The second reason is, well, let me just have a child here. Let me have my children. I'll be fine. Now listen, if your husband, I run a school for women. I've graduated my women in thousands. And I've listened to some cases that we both shed tears, hot tears. I didn't know when I held this woman, I was crying profusely like a baby. Why? Her husband brought HIV home. She said, "Ma, I married as a virgin. I've never acted out in my marriage. This was the man that disvirgined me. I don't even plait my hair." You know, sometimes some people can flog it and say, well, you don't know the reason why, the person committed adultery, blah, blah, blah. Fine. When she narrated the whole story, she said she does not even fix her hair. She said, I have natural hair. I don't go to salon to do pedicure. I'm a conservative person. It's only me and my husband that we're at home because we don't have children yet. So telling me that I got HIV from somewhere, I cannot comprehend it. This man was tested positive because she was not wise enough to set boundaries. Now, I'm not saying she don't have sex with your husband, but when you confirm, you are sure, you have your proofs and evidences that this man is acting out, insist on condom, protection. You have a right to paint your house the color you want. You have the right to fence your house. You have every right to protect yourself from assault. Because listen, if anything happens, it's your life. Just picture the trauma of being HIV positive and you don't have a child yet. it means that you have entered one chance in your marriage. Listen, the moment I'm holding my breath, because the memory, the wave of what happened that day when I have to hold this girl and we shed tears together just came back to me. Now she's almost 56 thereabout. She didn't have a child. She's nursing HIV. She's nursing HIV. Her husband is positive. Listen to me. If you are hearing me, the moment you are sure that this man is committing adultery, he's sleeping around, insist on counseling and therapy. The man needs help. If he says, I don't have a problem, everything is fine, he has a personality disorder, is a narcissist. Please go on the internet and look for the word narcissism. Narcissism. Or what is the nature of a narcissist? If your husband suits the criteria or fit into that mode, do yourself a favor. Just know that is a lost cause. What changes a man is, oh, I'm wrong, I am sorry, I will change, I need help. A narcissist does not take responsibility for every action. He actually blames you for his acting out. You are not available, you are not giving me sex, you don't give me attention. They keep blaming you. They make you feel bad for feeling bad about your situation. We call it gaslighting. When he does that, just know that this is a lost cause. Don't waste your time. It cannot change. Oh, somebody said, what God cannot do, what God cannot do does not exist. Please, when God gave us brain, He wants us to go and rest. Get online and find out. We are living in a global world. The world is so small that you don't even need to get into trouble before you get information. And as soon as you are informed, you cannot answer those questions. You can't answer your question alone on the internet and all of that. Get a consistent therapy. Get a strong and a solid support system that will help you to overcome, this is question and answer actually, overcome the pressure of having to be going back and forth, in and out of abuse. A good counselor, a good therapist will help you to navigate the stress of having to be stigmatized, having to go through the shame of, oh, she's living alone, oh, story. Africa, we say stories. Culture, we say their stories. Tradition, we say their stories. But headache is peculiar to the owner. You wear the shoes, you know where it hurts. And when you understand the dynamics of you wearing the shoes and knowing where it hurts, take your life back. My book is here. How to take your life back after several years of abuse. Your life is essentially a personal adventure. It's your life. Your life is your life. That's the book. Take your life back. You can order for it. It's just how many pages? 205 pages. Beautiful book. It will take you through the process, what to do, and you need a support system. Please, let's respect support system in our relationship when we are struggling. Don't ever think you can fight your battle alone. It is not possible. Take it to the bank. Now, the next question is, I'm going to still lump it up in a way. How do I deal with a husband that is cheating? That was the issue we addressed on radio today. You have some of the clips on my Instagram platform. I did in bits and in pieces because it was a questioning. It was like an interview, a question and answer. So I didn't have enough time to properly address the issue of how do I deal with a cheating husband. That was what battered the question that the woman asked me about having to keep treating sexually transmitted diseases in a marriage and you are still looking for the fruit of the womb. The question again, let me answer that. Now you are looking for the fruit of the womb, you are treating infection, meaning that right on inside of your womb you are infected. That's another trouble, a recipe for disaster. It's even the infection that is giving you a challenge in having your child. It's possible, probably, because most infertility has also been traced to infection. So what the doctor would do, they will try and treat infection before they continue to do other things. So if you are not privileged to watch me on Fresh FM this morning, I'm going to start addressing how to deal with a cheating husband. That was the topic we were flogging this morning. And I said, number one, be in control of your emotions. Hear me. What kills a woman is being emotionally unstable. Now, they gave an example of a lady that she noticed that her husband was having an affair with a lady, and she drove and pursued the lady. She had an accident and she died. The second example was the one that happened here in Ibadan, where I live. I was told that a lady saw her husband with a girlfriend in the car. She blocked them, pulled the lady out, gave her a dirty slap, and she didn't know that the lady is stronger than her. So the lady beat her to stupor, beat her properly, gave her the beating of her life. Now, is it necessary? No. 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 A noble does not do an ignoble thing. Before your husband got to a level of you having to drive and have an accident and die, one, before your husband could get to a place where you have to cross a side chick, you have known. A woman is given 38 solid powers. One of them is the power of intuition. One of them is the power of perception. One of them is the power of sensitivity. Understanding that, you would have sensed it. A woman have the sixth sense. Everybody has 5 senses, but a woman have the sixth sense. That thing that just tells you something somehow. You don't know, but you know. You don't know, but you feel. You don't know, but you perceive. You may not lay your fingers on it or put your hands there, but something just told you that something is not right somewhere. That is your sixth sense as a woman. So there's no need going out there and start reacting and start fighting to the point of losing your life to a man that does not even care. Because if your husband really cares for you, he will not be having an affair and telling you and rubbing it in your nose and telling you if you want to die, go and die. It's your life. Good riddance to bad nonsense. Take it or you drop it. He won't go that far. Now, let me balance this. When a man is struggling with sexual addiction, he loves his wife. It does not mean that he does not love you. But when a man is now a narcissist, because I'm teaching and I'm being professional here, that's why I'm breaking it down. So your husband can be committing adultery and he might love you. He loves you. But his brain has been hijacked. But when you are dealing with a narcissist, a man that has a personality disorder, a man that has personality disorder, pardon me, definitely the person needs extra attention because he cannot even love. Such men does not have the capacity to love. So expecting a fish to fly, you are in a bad dream. Expecting a bird to swim is not visible. That is that. And that's why if you find yourself in that kind of relationship, quickly seek a professional help. Let a therapist, a counselor help you to manage and navigate. Now, when we talk about emotional stability, I'm saying something here. I'm talking about how to deal with a cheating husband. Now, emotional intelligence, emotional stability, emotional, putting yourself together emotionally, that's the word I'm looking for. It will help you to think. You will not be impulsive. When you see a woman that her husband is cheating on, let me put it this way. Adultery for a woman is painful than rape. Adultery for a woman is painful than the death of a child. Excuse me. Sorry for breaking transmission. Adultery for a woman is worse than being raped. It's painful than the death of a child. It's painful than rape. The pain of infidelity in marriage cannot be explained. A woman told me, she said, "Ma, I was raped, I was gang raped when I was 18. Ma, the experience I had when my husband committed adultery is worse. Is worse." One woman said, "I lost 2 of my children in an accident when my husband acted out. The pain of that accident is not as worse as the pain of is worse than the pain of losing my children. The pain of infidelity is excruciating. I've seen women, as soon as they discover that their husband is acting out, they pour hot water and kill the man. Pour hot water in their private parts. We have some pictures going on in the days of BlackBerry that a woman pour hot water, hot oil on her husband's private parts. You cannot predict an action or a reaction of someone that a husband or his wife act out. Now, you see, I don't like basing my discussion on infidelity on women alone. Please. I've seen women that are poor, they are prostitutes. They are terrible when it comes to acting out sexually. So please, don't let us base it to gender. In case you need someone that his wife has cheated on and he needed help, it's not female based, it's not gender based. It is anybody can commit adultery, anybody can commit adultery, both husband and wife. Now, emotional stability will help you to think through. You will not be impulsive because it's not a new thing. It's not shock to you. You saw it coming. You sensed it. You perceived it. You have had several episodes. And one of the bad ones is, let me share this with you. If you are single, you know I will always bring my wisdom to the singles. If you are single and you encourage sex in courtship, you are sitting on a time bomb. I said it. If he sin with you, he will sin against you one day. For the fact that you allow him to have sex with you consistently, not just maybe a kiss and you quickly adjust, but you allow your body to be properly sexed, if there's any English like that, then you just know that he will sin against you one day. Marriage is honorable, bed undefiled. Warmongers and adulterers God will judge. All religion believe that it is sex after marriage. There is no religion that believe in premarital sex, because even manners, courtesy, culture, religion, tradition tells you sex must wait for the wedding night. So true love waits. True love waits. Somebody should help me to write it. True love must wait for the wedding night. So if your husband is cheating, the first thing to do clearly is to be in control, be in charge. It's not going to be easy. Now, I want to encourage you this evening. If you are having, or you have a friend that has a similar challenge, please don't let them talk to people that will not help them. Please, people are saying pray, pray, pray. It's not fair on a victim of sexual abuse or any form of adultery or infidelity. It's good to pray. You pray and you act. You act by seeking a professional help. You act by looking for someone to open up to, and the person will not judge you. If you tell your counselor or your support system or your support group that, excuse me, I feel like shooting this man, she should not judge you. Don't judge people. Oh, you are not spiritual. Why you don't? Please. The reason why you need to, thank you, true love waits. The reason why you need, honestly, the reason why you need a solid support system who is professionally inclinated, who knows what he or she is doing, is for you to be sane. Some miserable comforters and counselors, like the friend of Job, can put you into trouble in the name of God, in the name of religion. I told a man, I said, if God is this girl's dad, Would his dad allow him to be sexually abused to an extent of being infected with HIV? He kept quiet. That life is wasted. She's HIV positive. Her husband is HIV positive. They are looking for children. Where do they go from there? If she started observing and noticing that there is unfaithfulness in this marriage, and she's able to cry out, we are living in a culture, in a religious setting that is not fair on, especially womanhood. It's not fair on us. A woman, if it's a woman that is acting out now, the whole world, they will stone her. I'm not going out of order. I can tell you 1 million cases, and I can tell you several cases in the scriptures. One woman was caught in the very act of adultery. They caught her in the very act. Where is the man? They stoned her to Jesus. Physically stoned her to Jesus. Tamar, in Genesis 38, the husbands were the ones sleeping around. Onan slept, firstborn, slept around, was wicked before God. God killed him. The second one, Onan, did a withdrawal method, wanted to raise a seed for Tamar to at least have a child in this world. What happened? He was doing a withdrawal method. God killed him. And the father-in-law said, go to your father's house and remain a widow there for life. That's the way we are treated. That's the way every woman, when it comes to infidelity, if a woman is caught in the act of adultery, in an act of adultery, wow, she's going to be stoned. I've handled men. I have to be very strong on them in counseling and therapy. When the man say, I can never, my wife cheated on me. Now, excuse me, there are so many reasons for adultery. There's no reason to commit adultery, but there are so many reasons why people go into adultery. One of them is addiction. For a woman, it could be emotional emptiness, vacuum. You were just vulnerable. You just had somebody just gave you a listening heart. I didn't say here heart. Somebody just listened to your heart, and you could cry on that person's shoulders. You can be very, very vulnerable. That's how it happens. Most women that met themselves on a lap of a man, they never planned it. Because a woman, because of the culture, don't tell me I'm not female biased. I'm very liberal, I'm open, I'm natural. That's the truth. I have female clients, I have male clients that struggles with their sexuality, and everything is done in order and in decency. But what I'm saying is this: when you are going through anything that has to do with infidelity, extramarital relationship, please don't cry before someone that will not say sorry to you. Seek proper help from people that have been through that. Professionally, they are trained or something. And if you have been through it and you are not healed, you cannot heal people. Please write it down. It is the healed that becomes a master in mending. If you still have your wound is still sore and it's stinking, you can't help anybody. You can't give what you don't have. Somebody said, if you are going to give me a clothes, I will look at the one you're wearing. I've changed my slogan. I will check your wardrobe if you did not borrow that clothes to party, because people borrow clothes to party. You can only give what you have when it comes to the issue of, helping people from their struggle. So be emotionally stable. I've said that already. Be emotionally stable, and don't let anybody insist that you should stay in that marriage. Because I've handled a case of infidelity that was subtle, and they started fighting physically. The wife took a knife and cut the husband with a knife, and the man was bleeding. And people that are not fair on relationship, they just settled it and they went home together to go and do what? If two children are fighting, you separate them first. Divorce is not separation. There is a need for separation first. So everybody's emotion would have been managed, properly arranged. I'm using those words by choice. Then you can now say, okay, are we interested in this relationship? Do we want it to work? Can we do something about it? But telling that man or the woman to go back home in the name of people counseling not being professional. I will come back to this case. Let me digress here. The reason why people die of their sickness most of the time is quack treatment. Quack treatment. The moment, oh God, help me here. I'm so upset. The moment there's an infidelity and you noticed, the best thing is not for you to say, let's be together. No. Because you can't predict your actions. And people don't know themselves. This couple, let me go back to them, because that was what I wanted to say is another, I'm going to another route. And I want to come this way. Thank you, man. Do you know, they told the two of them, this case I'm talking about is in the papers. I went to the prison to meet that girl myself. The lady that killed her husband. It was one counselor. Let me digress. The reason why people die is because they do quack treatments. When they are having constant headache, they go to chemist and say, give me a particular medication. Nothing. They don't know what it is for. They just know that, okay, it will cure the headache. Consistently, they go to chemist. If you want proper treatment in any ailment or sickness, first thing you go and do is test. That is what a professional will do. We may not write paper and tell you typhoid test, a meningitis test. No. But by the time we are clocking you, we are doing tests for you. Now, when you now go to a chemist and they give you quack treatment, by the time you are going to an hospital or a teaching hospital where you are going to be treated, it would have been too late. It might become brain tumor or cancer because of constant headache that would have been discovered early and be treated. Let me go back to the case of this girl. She said they told us to go home. Don't forget, she has cut her husband with blade. And the place was obvious. That was when the neighbors, you know, religious people, pastors, sorry, forgive each other. They talk and talk and talk, and they went to bed. How do you know that the issue has been resolved in the heart of an individual that the wife cut with a knife? So the man woke the woman up at 3 a.m. True story. She told me herself. It's all in the papers. She said the man woke her up at 3 a.m. and said, you have a gut to cut me with a knife. And the man went to pick a knife. Say, I will kill you tonight. I am telling you what she told me. The mother died in this crisis. Her mother died. I don't want to mention her name. Google the woman that killed her husband, who is a lawyer, is on the internet. It's not erased. She said the man took a knife and they were running everywhere, running and pursuing each other. And the man, where they were struggling with the knife, the man hit himself. You know, her hand too had bruises. Hit himself and started bleeding. And the man, she told me, the man was still pursuing her right in the house. And blood was everywhere. The man collapsed and died. And she was charged for murder. Thank God for mercy. And everybody put their forces together to make sure that she was in that Goldie prison. I was there multiple times to see her. That could have been salvaged if they were handled professionally. Because you can't predict what will happen. That's the truth. Don't let anybody say, stay in the marriage. Don't leave. If it is becoming unbearable, excuse yourself. I'm saying it, divorce is different from separation. You can come apart, get help, seek counsel, and finally reconcile. That time, you would have done postmarital counseling. You would have done a lot of mental work, emotional work, spiritual work, if it is necessary. But at least when you give a little bit of a gap, individual can go and think and say, okay, do I still want this marriage? What are the vices? What are the virtues? Can I cope? Is this man willing to change? Is he going to play the thank you? You know the story. Thank God. I have people here confirming that they know the story. It was all over social media. The trauma is not allowing me to mention her name. I'm traumatized. She said, Mommy, am I sleeping? Is it true? Is it possible? Did I? I didn't kill him. It was one that took a knife. Mommy, please. But she had to be in the prison for months. It was mercy that granted her amnesty. Mercy. We pushed buttons. I'm telling you the truth. Listen, don't let anybody tell you to sit. Let's go back to Osinachi's case. If she had, the day she was slapped, it's question and answer. People are asking me questions. The day she was slapped at the, oh my God, at the studio, and somebody said, I'm going to report this, and she knelt down and apologized and begged on behalf of the man, and I'm sure the man will not beg. He will still be doing like this. I'm the head. You didn't tell me you are going to the studio. I will show you, and you are there. She would have died. Listen to me. She's dead. We are not hearing too much about the story again. She's gone. She has left her children to be motherless in the name of enabling. Let me say this. Thank you, ma. Let me tell you a secret today. When you are married to a man that is an addict or a narcissist, you have an addiction too. As a woman, you are an enabler. If this woman, Osinachi, she's also addicted to being an enabler. She actually fueled the anger. She fueled the addiction of anger, of narcissism in the man. She encouraged it. If for the first time in your life, you remember when Osinachi died, one woman of God, I've forgotten her, Mama Sarah Amaku said something. She said the first time her husband slapped her, she dropped her from the car. She said, hey, I'm not going to agree. No way. And look at that woman today. She said her husband changed. Why? Because he's not a narcissist. He changed because he's not a narcissist. He doesn't have a personality disorder. Church, wake up. People have mental illness. Don't use religion to cover it up. Oh. A narcissist will count hundreds of women, in tens and in thousands of women that he's sleeping with, and he will not say anything wrong in it, and he's not going to play the games by the rule of his wife and say, my dear, this time around, let me have all your passwords. You are not doing this. Stay at home. Let's do something together. Let's reconcile together. Let's make our marriage work. And he's saying, no, I have to do what I'm doing. It means that you are not important. That is the problem of personality disorder. They don't even know they have a problem. The person that changes is someone that says, oh, I'm sorry, I did it wrong, I got it wrong, this is not nice, I'm apologizing. For adultery, hear me today, thank you, 100% true. Hear me today. If you commit adultery as a man, you violate your marriage vows, you broke the covenant of trust in a home. If you are begging that woman for the rest of your life, it is not too much. Even if she says she's not more interested, still be begging. Because you have violated, you have broken the covenant, you have destroyed trust, you have messed up your children. If that woman is not strong, she won't have her children to herself. Because where two elephants fight is the grass that suffers. So, listen to me. If you set boundaries and you put yourself in a place, I'm talking about the topic, how to deal with a cheating partner. The moment you set a boundaries and you tell yourself no, and you are calm, you are collected, that's another bait. You are calm, you are collected, you saw it, you have evidences and everything, and you are chilling. If he's not a narcissist, he will be uncomfortable. But if he has a personality disorder, he will start giving you reasons why he's committing adultery. And when you didn't give me sex, when you didn't do this, when you are not submissive, when you are not humble, thank you. That's what I'm saying. If he goes back to adultery, he's an addict. He needs help. He has addiction problem. I'm a sexual addiction therapist. What we do is we retrain the brain. If he keeps going back into adultery, he's sick. He has mental illness. Addiction is a mental illness. Addict is different from. I've seen men who have committed adultery and they are back, they have restituted, they are back in their home, and there is bliss in their marriage till tomorrow. I've seen men that are narcissists. They have personality disorder. They cannot even go through the rigors of recovery, because when we are doing recovery, it's like going for surgery. In my recovery classes, you see men opening up themselves. I take them to go and do HIV test after infidelity. A narcissist will not go take that route. He's not going to agree. You will use 1 year, 3 years to say, go and do test. Let's be sure. You can't touch me. You have committed adultery. There's no lie. I have the proof of your adulterous act. Why would you do that? And he will be telling you, hey, I can't do test here. I've got, excuse me, why? It means that the marriage is not valued. The person is not appreciated, is not wanted. Are you still getting what I'm trying to say? So if he's consistently, there's a question here, if he's consistently doing it and is repenting and is coming, seek help. There are professionals all over the world that can help you. You have a psychologist, you have psychotherapists, we have counselors that will help you to deal with addiction. But it means that this reasoning, the reason why he's consistently doing this is because he can't help himself. It means that the addiction has overridden him. He can't do any other thing. He can't help himself. So he needs help. He can be helped. We are giving all that pertain to, thank you, seek a professional help. Because if that is not done, you'll still be going in that circle, and you can end up having HIV. There are over 50,000 sexually transmitted diseases. Over 50,000. Share with people and let them understand this. Let's call a spade a spade. Don't call it an agricultural shovel. He needs help. Insist that he seeks help. He gets help. And you pay for therapy. Whatever you don't pay for, you don't value. You have to pay for it. Especially when it's consistent. Get me clear. A man is visual. Let me balance this. A man struggle with the thought of sex because we are living in a sex world where sex sells. You are advertising toothpaste. The body is open. The boobs are out. You are trying to go to the mall. The clothes and the shape of the private part is shown in the tight-fitted trousers or pants that the person is wearing. You are battling with your sight. Men look at the outside. God said it. Men are visual. Even Jesus, in my tenet of faith, because I have multiple audience, even in the tenet of my faith, Jesus said, if you look at a woman to lust after and say, wow, omolele, this girl is, you have committed adultery. Meaning that adultery is not just in the act, it's also in the thought. So, why? Men are visual. Now, in the process, I said it today. Please go back to my the interview I had on Fresh FM this morning on this particular topic. I said something. I said, when you are newly married, it is normal to go through 7 stages: honeymoon, realization, nagging, explosive, avoidance, divorce. You know, those stages. During the avoidance stage, a man can be vulnerable. So it's not just addiction. I need to balance that. He might not be addicted. It might be during the time of your conflict and you are not resolving it. That is the time the man will now have an opening. Because if the wall is not cracked, lizard will not enter. That's a proverb in my language. There can be an opening. That is also a thing. Are you getting me? So it might be because of that, then you just do postmarital counseling and see a professional and get help and understand what speaks love to you, your personality, your love language, your attitude, your character, what speaks love to you. Because so many people, they are just giving I said so many people, everyone is given a marriage certificate without going to school. You have to learn it. As you went to school to do medicine, to read medicine and read engineering and read banking and finance, same you have to go and get informed about marriage relationship, or else it's a waste of energy. You're going to lose the wealth you've got to gather by going to school. Marriage information is more important than your school if you want to be married, because that relationship that is healthy is the one that will help you to enjoy the fruit of your labor and sacrifices, burning midnight candles and reading in the university. So definitely, now if that counseling is not there and you are drifting, there could be, a man can be vulnerable, a woman can also be vulnerable. I've seen women that commit adultery, and when you are looking at adultery, it's not just sex, it could be emotional adultery, psychological adultery. Adultery is multidimensional. You can become adulterous with somebody you just, oh, I just want to talk to you, and you know, you feel you are emotionally happy talking to that person is emotional adultery. Somebody you are not as free with your spouse, but when it's that person, you share your heart with the person, is adultery. Take it to the bank. Thank you for writing that. So we need to understand that. But the issue we are talking about here is, if the man is consistently falling, bringing infections home, you can count at least some women, maybe 10, 20, 2, 3, 4, 5. In your few years of marriage, put your feet down and seek a professional help. If not, no sex, please, for HIV's sake. And really, you are not having sex with the man. You are just telling him to do what he's going to do, because sex is a covenant. It's not a contract. One person has broken the covenant. You can't be free. Your heart cannot be open, except you see changes. When we do recovery for couples that have committed adultery, there's so much wounds that have to be exhumed, and what is not dead, you can't bury it. Somebody write it down, please. If it's not dead, you can't bury it. That act, that pain must be properly healed, and it takes time. It takes process. It takes, fanning your love life to flame again, rekindling your love life, putting a lot of effort. Not a wound that has been there for a very long time. It will take time for that woman to open up again. And let me tell you something about adultery. The moment a man commits adultery, the love life of a woman naturally is like a well. You have to draw it. It's like a well. You draw water from your own cistern. It's a well. So a woman cannot be sexually aroused just like that. Some words, some care, some attention, some giving, some, a good fragrance, some smell, a lot of things makes a woman to want to have the man. The moment adultery, infidelity is involved, there is a well of bitterness. And let me say this, because I will soon close in a few minutes. Hear me. If your husband commits adultery and you are holding bitterness, you are not smart. Take it to the bank. Unforgiveness is drinking poison, thinking someone will die. Cancer is waiting. I'm telling you the truth. Cancer is waiting. High blood pressure is waiting. Migraine, your grain is not migraine, your grain is waiting. Untimely death is knocking at your door. Somebody hurts you so badly and you want to die again. No. Give him that gift. How do I mean? Unforgiveness is tying your umbilical cord to your past pain. Cut it. Fully know in your heart of hearts that this thing that has happened to you is not your fault. Can I say this, please? Your husband's adultery is not your fault. Don't ever say, a woman, I've had women say, it's my fault, I was not there. You remember the question I answered last week? He was sleeping around. He went to pregnant another woman because I don't give him attention. There is no reason for infidelity. There's no reason for it. And in my faith, in the tenet of my faith, there's no reason for it. Some religion believe that they can have 200 wives, but it's still different. Bring them home, take care of them, provide for them equally. That's what the other faith said. And love them equally. At least you heard a lady spoke about it on the program I had this morning. It's on Facebook. It's on my Instagram handle. Sorry. Please follow me on Instagram. My handle is Olufunke Adetuberu. You can always watch it. And go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. There's so much. Last Sunday, She Matters was a blast on. I was talking to men. I told you that a man was dead for 4 years, and his body, his skeleton, was found in the room on the bed. Life is a choice, actually. Life is a choice. But hear me. Forgive the offender is a gift. Forgiveness is a gift. The moment you are still wishing the person evil, you have not forgiven. That's a sign. Maybe you should write those signs down. The moment you hear the voice of that person and you want to throw, you are angry, you are not forgiven. The moment you are praying against negative prayers against the person, you have not forgiven. Listen, do you know, let me be honest with you. God said, vengeance is mine. It's God that avenges for you, that you yourself will be afraid. In my language, they call it Ogbeni Nija Keru Obonija, meaning that when he defends you, you'll be afraid. So, let God deal with the matter. Let God deal with the matter. It's not your business to keep holding grudge and holding bitterness. I'm a forgiver, and a forgetter. Let it be. And let's see how it goes. A lot of us, we are so much in a hurry. Honestly, I don't like human beings. We're too much. Oh, let it happen now. Calm down. When God brings his own, you'll be scared. God's judgment is real. His good, his mercies endure forever. His horses and his striders he throw to the sea. And his good and his mercies endure forever. It's not easy. When lies, okay, let me read this. It's not easy. When lies is the foundation and you later realize you're already in it. It's not easy. But life is a choice. I've said it before. Life is a choice. You choose to forgive. You choose to heal. Seek help. Get a very good support system. You'll be fine. I've seen women that are HIV positive because of their husband's infidelity, and they are doing well in their career. Solid women, and they have set boundaries. Their husband the man is even a narcissist. They've moved on. And some have to leave. When you are talking about abuse, it's not only sex that is abusive. Verbal abuse is worse than sexual abuse. Is it toxic or not? I will treat that when is the program toxic on Thursday. I'm going to treat that on Thursday. Because a lot of people don't even know. Or say, he has not slapped you before. Listen, when you are psychologically abused and verbally abused, the scars are as visible as being cut with a knife. That's what people don't know. And such should not be allowed in any relationship. That is where to set boundaries. Your word must be seasoned with salt and grace. If what speaks love to that person is now words, the person will leave that person bye-bye. And that's how it works. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's not easy. I know it's a tough place to be. But you can heal with a good, solid support system. Now, let me appeal to people on Facebook. I'm not used to Facebook. I face my book. I'm not used to Facebook. So if you are sending me messages on Facebook, I hardly go there because I'm busy. My workload is much. If you are, please use that to follow me on Instagram and send me a DM. Because that one you can easily scroll and quickly answer. Facebook people, I apologize because recently I saw a lot of people sending me messages on Facebook, and it's like, wow. I apologize, honestly. I'm not good in that terrain. And because what people discuss with me, they are personal and they are confidential, and I have an oath of confidentiality with my clients. I keep everything secret. And what I'm hearing or whatever you tells me dies with me. And that's the truth. because we are living in a generation where which you don't even know who to trust, you don't know who to open up to. You are as sick as your secrets. Can somebody help me to write it down? Seek help, get a counselor, arrange therapy, and fly and soar like an eagle and get to your various dreams and dream destination and dream wherever you want to get to in life. But you can be healed. Emotional healing is visible, and healing is a choice. And you know, the beautiful thing about God is this, very good. God actually, we are wired to heal. Do you know if you have a cut somewhere and you don't treat it for some time, it will heal naturally. But emotional wounds is not like that. Emotional wounds is not like that. It will be healed, but the patches will be there. Let me explain what I mean. If you know, some of us, I don't know if you have had a wound like that before, that it looks healed on the surface, and you know, but there's these patches on it, you know. If you scratch that patches, you can start bleeding afresh. And you're wondering, I thought this wound is healed. Fresh blood can be coming out from that spot. Emotional wound has to be properly healed, intentionally healed, deliberately healed. Choosing my words. You can't gloss over it, or else you will see. You know how many women are in their grave with bitterness. You know how many people cannot strive, cannot do anything again. They are stuck because of addiction of their husband, of their spouses. They are stuck. They cannot move forward again. They can't do anything. If they are pastors, they can't preach. If they are doctors, they can't progress. They'll just be going on through the routine of, okay, I go to hospital. They are not reading. They are not professional anymore. They are not doing anything again. They are stuck. They are dead. They are numb to life because of somebody that you met in this world. You now stop your destiny and your progress. Come off it. Seek help. Send me a DM. Chat me up. Thank you. Exactly. That's the truth. Because marriage begins there and ends there. There's no marriage in heaven. So everything starts from here. And when you understand that, you will tell yourself, nobody will. And most women are in a mental home. Straight to a mental home. Thank you. Straight to a mental home. A lot of women are in their mental homes now as I'm talking. Because they just lose it. Some will be driving to their house, they will not know the way in anymore. Some are, they're just confused. Now, religion has made it a paradox again. You know, if you are not religious, you are just living your life, you are acting out, you are doing your own tit for tat. But if you are not a Christian or a religious person, you are in trouble. Please don't let anybody use religion to destroy your life in your relationship. Don't allow it. Seek help. And you know what? When it comes to things like this, it's professionally handled. I handle it professionally, one, and it is different stroke for different folks. How I'm going to handle yours is different from another person because it's not the same story. Even if you are twins and you are going through the same thing, it's not the same story. Wow, on this note, I've been talking since morning. My eyes are red. I'm hungry. I want to eat. Thank you. If you enjoyed tonight, let me have your waves. Let me have your hands. Let me have your love, 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 love. Let me have your waves. If you really enjoy it, please share with your friend. I heard a story. I was supposed to read it. Well, maybe I will address it. You know, it was a case of an abuse that somebody sent to me on my DM, and the person had to tag me when they brought out the story and say, ask Funke Adetuberu that please ask me. I'm ready to answer. I will thank you, ma. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus, for not allowing me to land in a psychiatric home. There's a woman who's saying it. She must have gone through a similar situation, but she didn't find herself in a psychiatric home. God is merciful. Because maybe, let me tell you something. This heart does not have bone. This heart does not have bone. Thank you for thanking me. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the share. Wow. Let me bid you goodbye at this moment. I love you guys. Love you, love you, love you. See you.